We care about outsourcing in America. We want people working here.
Products, not jobs.
Unions are furious about outsourcing.
Show us the job!
Both plants that I work for sent their production overseas.
We asked the AFL-CIO, America's largest labor organization, for their best examples of outsourced workers. And the first people they told us to talk to were Shirley and Ronnie Bernard.
You'll find something eventually.
They used to work at this Levi's factory in Powell, Tennessee, but then Levi's started sending jobs to Mexico, closing all its Tennessee plants.
A lot of people in tears.
It tore a lot of people up because some people's been here since they've been 16 years of age. And they've been here like 20-something odd years, more or less.
Like Shirley and her husband.
You've done something for 20 years, got up and went to work every day, and then all of a sudden, you don't have any place to go and nobody needs you anymore. So, you don't have a job.
Exporting America tonight, still ahead here.
Lou Dobbs feels their pain. The CNN anchor has made complaints about outsourcing a trademark of his show.
So companies just shouldn't do it?
In my judgment, absolutely not.
Dobbs' new book says the government should limit free trade and immediately outlaw outsourcing of government contracts.
Just because of cheap labor, we're destroying our middle class. That is just stupid. Being stupid is un-American.
Wait a second. It's restricting outsourcing that would be un-American and stupid.
Thank you for calling technical support.
You may not like that someone in India takes your customer service call, but outsourcing helps the middle class by bringing lower prices. Take clothing. Lots of it is made abroad these days, and Lou Dobbs sees that as a terrible thing.
This country cannot even clothe itself. 96% of our apparel is imported.
But that's okay. We have more choices for less money.
When was the last time you bought a suit of clothes? Because if your prices went down, I would be shocked.
Be shocked, then. Here's the Labor Department's price index for clothing. It's gone down and down. But what about all those jobs going overseas? Like these jobs. These 50 people in India are doing programming that...
Good morning.
These people in California used to do. They work for a company called CollabNet, run by Bill Portelli.
The Indian engineer costs half as much?
The Indian engineer costs less than half as much.
But some people say this cheats Americans out of jobs.
It doesn't cheat Americans out of jobs. If I hadn't hired the people in India, I would have had to lay people off.
They can actually change.
These Americans didn't lose their jobs because outsourcing saved CollabNet so much money they could expand in America.
Basically, I've created jobs in America. I've built better products, created jobs, been able to raise salaries.
He says he couldn't have grown. He might be out of business.
And then he probably should be out of business. Because the fact of the matter is, either his business would be successful with American workers, or it's not going to be successful at all.
What? The most successful companies are outsourcers. And this Dartmouth study found that outsourcers are the bigger job creators.
Companies that outsourced abroad ended up hiring twice as many workers at home. Excuse me for being the garden at your skunk party, but we're creating more jobs than we're losing.
Well, if you want to go retrospectively, but over the course of the past 4 years, 1 million people have lost their jobs.
Well, maybe if you pick just those years, but those were years when we had a recession. Look at the big picture. Since 1992, it's true, America has lost 361 million jobs. But during that same time, we also gained 380 million jobs, millions more than we lost.
Good afternoon, CWA. This is Shirley.
Shirley, the AFL-CIO's example of a victim of outsourcing, did struggle. She had to dig into her savings, and she worries about her long-term security. But she did eventually find a job as a secretary.
I ended up with, a pretty good job.
Shirley's new job pays more than her old job at Levi. And the Levi's work was harder, hot, noisy, physically difficult. The new job's better.
A whole lot easier. Oh, I love my job now. Yeah.
Her husband and some former co-workers are still looking for work, but Shirley showed us pictures of other co-workers who'd gotten new jobs.
He's got a good job now.
Many have better jobs.
Some of them have really got excellent jobs. Jobs that they would never have even left Levi's for if the plant hadn't closed. This kind of forced them to make a decision what they wanted to do, and they're really happy at what they do.
Allowing outsourcing creates opportunity. It's easy to see the pain of workers who are laid off.
Cutbacks will result in the loss of more than 2,300 jobs.
It's harder to see the benefits of free trade because those benefits aren't news. That Levi's plant that closed, it's now being converted to a college. The jobs of all those who will soon teach here. And these construction jobs won't be talked about in the evening news. But they're a product of outsourcing, too.
The rising outsourcing crisis.
Outsourcing is not a crisis. The crisis will only come if we try to stop it.